There comes a moment in every sincere Christian's life when faith stops being comfortable. At first, belief feels peaceful, hopeful, quiet. But sooner or later, following Christ moves from the heart into the real world. And that is when resistance begins. Not always from strangers, not always from governments, often from people closest to us. This raises a deep and honest question. If following Jesus is about love, truth, and salvation, why does it so often bring opposition? And sometimes even persecution. When people hear the word persecution, they imagine prison cells, violence, or martyrdom. But biblical persecution is broader and closer to home. Jesus never promised that following him would make life easier. He promised it would make life true. In John 15:18, Jesus says, "If the world hates you, remember that it hated me first." This hatred is not always loud. Often it is subtle. And that subtle resistance is often the first fire a believer faces. Throughout Scripture, fire is never random. Fire tests, fire purifies, fire reveals. In the same way, faith that has never been tested remains unproven. When following Christ costs nothing, faith stays theoretical. But when it costs approval, comfort, peace, reputation, faith becomes personal. This is why many believers describe persecution as a baptism of fire. Not because it replaces baptism in water, but because it marks the moment when faith moves from words to endurance. It is important to be clear. Persecution is not proof that God is angry with you. It is not punishment. It is not a sign that you chose the wrong path. And it does not mean you must seek suffering. Jesus never commanded believers to chase persecution. He warned them to expect it. Fire is not the goal. Transformation is. The danger is when believers glorify suffering, minimize pain, and shame those who struggle. Fire refines, but it still burns. Acknowledging pain does not mean weak faith. It means honest faith. When Jesus said, "Blessed are those who are persecuted," he was not denying human pain. He was revealing eternal perspective. Rejoicing does not mean enjoying suffering. It means recognizing its meaning. Persecution confirms three things. 1. Your faith is no longer hidden. Light is only opposed when it is visible. 2. Your allegiance has shifted. You no longer live to please everyone. 3. Your faith is growing roots. Shallow belief withers under pressure. Rooted faith survives. Rejoicing is not emotional happiness. It is spiritual clarity. If persecution is a baptism of fire, then how a believer responds matters more than the fire itself. Fire teaches humility. True faith does not respond with pride. It responds with quiet confidence. You do not need to prove your faith by force. Truth does not need shouting to remain true. Fire separates conviction from ego. A faith that has been tested becomes steady, not easily offended, not easily shaken, not easily corrupted. Some defend faith to feel superior. Others endure persecution because they trust God. Fire reveals the difference. Jesus did not convert the world by aggression. He did it through sacrificial love. Often, the greatest witness is not argument, but endurance. There are moments when persecution feels unbearable. Moments when a believer asks, "Is this really what following Christ means?" Scripture never hides this struggle. Even the strongest believers cried out to God. Faith does not mean silence. Faith means continuing, even while questioning. God does not abandon his people in the fire. He walks with them through it. So, is persecution a baptism of fire? Often, yes. Not because suffering saves us, but because it shapes us. Fire is where faith becomes rooted, refined, resilient. It is where belief stops being borrowed and becomes owned. And one day, when the fire has done its work, you will realize what felt like opposition was preparation. What felt like loss was formation. And what felt like fire was God's strengthening a faith that could no longer be shaken.